So in this initial phase, we're going to interact with the client and we're going to get the requirement. These requirements are totally non-functional requirements. So like how functional testing, we're going to gather the functional requirement, right? Like that. Perform testing is a type of non-functional testing. So here we're going to gather non-functional requirement. It is nowhere related to functionality of that application. So once we gather the requirement, then we'll move to test plan design. Test plan design is management activity. So based on the requirement, management will design the test plan. In that test plan, they'll mention in scope, out scope, test duration, building resource, everything. So once client review the test plan and sign off, then we're going to start scripting. So scripting in the sense we're not going to use any programming here. We're going to record and automate the key performance business scenarios and we're going to customize that request like parameterization, correlation, error handling, text, and timers. We're going to customize that request. And once scripting is completed, then we will move to the fourth phase. Fourth phase is execution and monitoring. So during execution time, we're going to design whatever scenarios we want, either load test or stress test or spike test or endurance, whatever we want. We're going to design and execute in this fourth phase. So once execution completed, we're going to get the result file. That result file we're going to analyze and generate the report. That is the final phase of performance testing. Clear so far, Kanan, Syed, Praveen?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So first two sessions we're going to discuss about theory part. Then we will move to tool introduction. So how to download the Jmeter latest version and earlier version, and how to set up the environment variables and pre-request Jmeter components and thread group introduction. So introduction to Jmeter session, and then we're going to start record and replay. So record means we're going to capture the browser events using Jmeter proxy. Once we capture the call, we're going to replay with multiple users and multiple iteration. So we're going to see how to record the script using Jmeter proxy, and also we're going to see how to record the script using Jmeter plugin, right? And how to replay with different settings. Okay. After recording, we're going to parameterize the user input. Parameterization means we're going to pass different values for different users. Let's say if I'm going to launch and log in redbus.com, I'm going to log in with my credential and I'm going to search with keyword Chennai to Bangalore, from city Chennai to city Bangalore. Then it will give the bus list, right? From that list, I'm going to pick one bus and I'm going to book the ticket and log out from the application. So this scenario I want to record and automate. So I'm going to record the script using Jmeter proxy. After recording, I want to replay with multiple users, like different users load I want to generate. So if I want to run with 100 users or 10 users, then I need to log in with a 10 different credential and 10 different users will use different keyword. Like one user will search Chennai to Bangalore, one user Bangalore to Hyderabad, and another user Hyderabad to Mumbai. Different users will give different input, right? So if you want to automate the real user behavior, then we need to parameterize the user input. Parameterization means we're going to create a data file. In that file, we're going to give different from city and to city and user ID and password. That sheet we're going to parameterize with our script. Then automatically our script will take different value for different users. So one user search with keyword Bangalore to Chennai, next user going to search Chennai to Bangalore, Mumbai to Hyderabad. So different users will use different keyword, right? So that we can also able to see the actual production performance here. Clear this topic, parameterization, Sayed, Praveen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
clear.
Okay. So next topic is correlation. Correlation is very important topic. Correlation is for handling the dynamic values. So if any values that is generated by server at runtime, that values we need to handle using correlation method. Let's say if you go to redbus.com and search with keyword Chennai to Bangalore, it will give the list. If you use different keyword like Bangalore to Hyderabad, it will give the different list, right? Not same list. So the same keyword, if you use it in the evening time, then also you will get different bus. The same morning bus will not available in the evening, right? So that list is dynamic. So that value going to change based on the availability, correct? Not only in redbus.com, like if you go to Amazon and search with keyword t-shirt, you will get some top selling products in first page. Tomorrow, if you search, you cannot see the same product. Maybe the new arrivals will come into first page, or that product went to out of stock, so that it will not shown in the first page. So that list is dynamic. So it is coming, getting the value from server, which are product available at the time. Then it will display that. Right? So that value is dynamic. If any value that is keep on changing, then we need to correlate that value. So for correlation, we're going to use regular expression extractor to extract the value, and we're going to use it in our request. Right? Like if you do any bank transaction, you will get one transaction ID. If you do another transaction, that system will generate new dynamic ID, right? So that ID is unique. So every time it will change. So that value is dynamic. If you place any order, you will get one order ID. If you place another order, different ID will generate. So that ID also dynamic. If any dynamic values in your script, then you need to correlate that value. Clear, Sayed, Kanan, correlation.
So, hello.
Yeah, yes, Sayed.
Yeah, correlation means it will change. We have to put dynamic element in correlation component, isn't it?
We're going to capture that value from that response, and we're going to use it in our request. Whichever value is
Okay,
available that time, that value we're going to capture.
okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay.
And next we go to,
Arun,
yes, Kanan.
are we like in load runner or we use a function, right? For correlation, like how it is in Jmeter and all.
JMeter, it is regular expression extractor or boundary
Okay.
extractor or JSON extractor. We have different way for correlation. Load runner is
Hmm.
basic C, right? So it needs basic C knowledge. But JMeter, you don't need to have any programming skill. Tool itself have option.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So next we going to see timers. So timer is for adding delay before the request. Like if you want to automate any real-time application, then you need to give some time between the transactions and after the iteration. So for that we have constant timer, random timer, and synchronizing timers. By using this timer, we can able to stimulate the real user's load, and also we can able to meet the target TPS. Right. Next we
Arun,
going to
sorry
see
for the interruption. Is it like ramp up and ramp down, or it is like a
no,
think
no, no,
time
think time
between
and
each?
paging time.
Okay.
Right. So next topic we're going to see assertion. Assertion is for text verification checkpoint. So we're going to use assertion for error handling. For that we have different assertions like response assertion, uh, response time assertion, size assertion, duration assertion. So we're going to see assertion for error handling, and then we're going to use how to customize the property file. So few values we can able to alter in Jmeter batch file and property file. So that we're going to see how to customize the batch file and property file, and Jmeter plugins. So plugins also freely available. We can download and add it in our Jmeter so that we can get more options in Jmeter. We're going to see how to add plugins and get more options in Jmeter. And controller. Controller is for scenario design. So by using this controller, we can able to change the script behavior. So there are different controllers in JMeter like transaction controller, loop controller, once and only, if controller, module controller, interleave controller, for each controller, recording controllers. We're going to use these controllers and see how we can able to customize the script behavior. Right? So till controller scripting phase is completed, then we will move to scenario design using thread group. So here only we're going to design whatever scenario we want to execute, like load test or stress test or spike test or endurance test, whatever we want, we can design using this thread group. For that, we're going to use ultimate thread group, stepping thread group, and step up thread group, tear down thread group. So by using this thread group, we're going to design the scenario and we're going to see how to run the test in GUI mode. GUI mode means graphical user interface mode, and we're going to use listeners to get the results from that report, right? And when you come to actual load test, we need to run the test in non-GUI mode. Jmeter have two mode of execution. One is graphical user interface mode and another one is non-graphical user interface mode. So we call it as GUI. So if you want to run the load test, then we need to go with non-GUI mode. Then only Jmeter can able to stimulate that required amount of load. Otherwise, Jmeter will crash. So I can say this is one advantage to my session. I'm going to cover non-GUI execution with clear example. So first we're going to see how to run the simple non-GUI test, and then we're going to include one load generator in our test, and we're going to see how to add multiple LGs in our test, and also we're going to see non-GUI execution in LG with different users. So LG wise we're going to differentiate the load. And last point is non-GUI execution with different instance in same machine. How to open multiple instance and distribute the load from same machine we're going to see, right? So once execution completed, we're going to prepare the report and see how to analyze the results and generate the report. Along with this web application testing, we're going to cover how to test web service API perform testing using Jmeter and how to test database using JDBC connection configuration and how to test mail server perform testing using Jmeter. So these three additionally we're going to cover along with this web application testing. Clear, Sayed, Kanan,
Yeah,
Praveen?
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
And this entire topics we can able to cover in 14 to 15 sessions, daily 1 hour session, like Monday to Friday. If you are available, then we can plan on weekend, Saturday and Sunday as well.
Sure. Arun,
Right.
I have 4.5 years of experience in Roadrunner,
Okay.
but not much on JMeter. I just started learning.
Okay.
Could you please tell me, like, you have experience on both the things, right?
Right.
Which one you feel it is more comfortable and more easier to learn?
For freshers, JMeter is very easy. Why? Because
Okay.
load runner, you need to have just basic scene knowledge, right? And also
Yeah.
options are very. Load runner have more options, like different components we have EUGen controller analysis.
Yeah.
But Jmeter is having single window. That itself we can cover everything: execution, scripting,
Yes.
execution, and report analysis.
Does it
So
require
Jmeter is
any
easy for
scripting?
freshers.
For JMeter, does it require any scripting?
Sorry, come again.
And does it requires any like in Loadrunner we use some file functions, right? Here do you use any
Right, right.
such?
Like the Jmeter, you don't need to have any programming skill. Without that, tool itself have option.
Okay, okay.
And also, Jmeter is open source. Loadrunner is commercial, right?
Use
So
commercial
commercial tools,
license.
they're giving auto correlation and the report analysis. Everything is simple in Loadrunner, but Jmeter we have to do something manually to achieve that.
Hmm. Okay.
It is a free tool, right? So we have to do some
Yeah.
manual effort. So filter, graph filter, and correlation. So on
Okay.
in Loadrunner, you can able to get the suggested dynamic values by using Design Studios, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
we
sure.
don't have such kind of option. And also Loadrunner will automatically capture the recorded response. JMeter we
Hmm.
have to save it explicitly. Then only we can compare the replay response with recorded one.
Okay, okay.
JMeter is simple and powerful, and also we need to do some manual effort.
Okay, sure.
Harun,
Yes, Kannan.
yeah,
No, no,
Praveen here.
Hmm.
Yes, Kannan.
No. It's Praveen.
Uh,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
Praveen.
yeah. What about Inflex DB, Grafana, Bean Shell scripting?
So bean cell scripting, if you are good in scripting, then you can use bean cell scripting for correlation as well, or else you want to mock any service like mock service, you want to stimulate something. If your application is not available to provide the response, then you can write coding and you can stimulate that response in Jmeter itself. For stimulation purpose, you can use bean cell scripting or Grafana. Sorry, Grafana is for integration, and also you can integrate Jmeter with Jenkins, and also Groovy script you can write it in Jmeter, but that all for mock service.
Okay, did you train me on that?
No, that will not cover. Scripting part is bean cell scripting, Groovy scripting is separate scripting. If you have idea, then you can easily use some samplers or a preprocessor available in Jmeter and you can write it here. But scripting, that Groovy scripting, bean cell scripting is different.
So, okay, if for example, I have an application for flight booking or something else.
Okay.
In LoadRunner, we have a C techniques like that. What about in JMeter? How to write the function?
We have controllers like if controller, while controller, for each control, right? By using if controller, you can give the condition. If condition satisfied, then it will do that operation. Similar to that, we have while controller, module controller, for each controllers. So by using that controllers, we can able to implement that condition in JMeter.
Oh, okay.
These controllers will help you to do the logic. If you want to
Arun,
repeat the transaction multiple times, then you
yeah,
can use loop.
what all protocols will be covered part of this session?
Yeah,
This
web protocol, and along with that API and SOAP web service and database JDBC and mail server SMTP.
okay.
Anything else you guys need to know?
So how to approach you after this call? Like if you want to take up a session or you want to take up the training from you.
You can reach Kirti. Kirti can do to enroll for this.
Okay, sure. Sure, Arun.
Okay, Kanan. I think we are good. We can wind up the session today. Okay, Praveen, Sayed, Kanan, Ravish. All the best. We'll see.
And thank you, Arun.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Kanan.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Arun.
Arun.
Bye.
Arun,
Thank you.
could you
Thank
please
you.